Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so excited to be back and making another video. First of all, I just wanted to say quickly that I'm sorry I didn't make a video last week. Last week was kind of a weird week for me. I was like really focused on like housework and I was baking a lot, so I don't know, making a video just wasn't really on my radar. But I'm really excited to be back today. And today we're gonna do like a really fun and bright eye look. I'm really excited for summer to get here, so this look is inspired by that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see, I already have my brows on. As always, if you guys are interested in how I do my brows, I will link that video in the description box below so you can watch my brow tutorial. But let's go ahead and get started on the eyes. So, I'll go ahead and show you guys the palette that we're going to be using today. This is the Colourpop A Flutter palette. It's got 12 shades in here, and it was a part of their like butterfly collection. This one was an Ulta exclusive, I believe. And I think today I want to play in like this super bright shade right here, maybe a little bit of this kind of brick red color, and then I've never used this orange before, so I think we're going to use that as well. But yeah, just super fun, super bright look. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on some of my e.l.f. eye tape so that we can get that super precise and clean look that I love and that I think will help make this super bright and pigmented look a little bit easier. You won't have as much fallout because with super light shades, or I'm sorry, bright shades, they tend to, because they're so pigmented, they tend to have a lot of fallout. So this will help with that. Okay, and now that I have my tapes on, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my e.l.f. Lid Lock eyeshadow primer. And you can kind of see I have a little bit of concealer on my eyes from cleaning up my eyebrows, but we're just gonna dot this all over the lid. And this is sheer, so it's not really gonna like conceal your veins or anything like that. I'm trying to find my concealer brush. And we're just gonna blend that out really quick. Okay, so I will say I'm kind of nervous because I haven't done eyeshadow. Sorry, this feels like it's like falling off. I haven't done my eyeshadow in a minute, so we'll see how this goes. And yeah, we'll just do our best. It's fine. So I'm trying to see what a good crease shade would be. So I think I'm gonna start out with this shade Satin Wings, and I'm gonna pop that in the crease as a nice transition shade. I'm just gonna put that on my Colourpop E2 brush. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking that on my fluffy blending brush and I'm just buffing that into the crease, and I'm really trying to build it up a lot to get a lot of pigment. That's why this fast forwarding is kind of taking a long time, because I'm really trying to build the color up. But yeah. Okay, and next I'm gonna go in with this shade, I don't know, I think it's 000. And we are going to, let's see here. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. blending brush just because it's a little flatter than the Colourpop E2. I feel like I can really concentrate this color in the crease. So I'm gonna try to like put this just a little bit thinner in my crease so that you can still see that Satin Wings shade, but this is gonna be a little bit more concentrated. This is gonna be really pigmented, so I'm a little scared, but hopefully it works out. So I'm gonna take that on this brush and just start putting that where I put the Satin Wings shade. Okay, I know it looks crazy right now, but don't worry, it'll all make sense in the end. I'm gonna go back in with my Colourpop E2 and go back in with this Satin Wings shade. And I'm gonna kind of buff out that upper crease so that that edge is a little bit more smooth. Okay, so now that we have our crease shades, I think I'm gonna start building in the outer corner. So we're gonna go in with the shade Meteorite right here. It's like a red, but it's got like terracotta undertone. So I'm gonna buff that and start kind of stippling it into the outer corner of my eye.
And here I'm basically just taking the other brushes with the other shades and going back and touching them up really quick.
Okay, and now that we have all of our mattes down, we're gonna start to get into the shimmer. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my crease with some concealer. And for that, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Extremely long name, but that's what we're gonna use. And I'm gonna take it on my e.l.f. concealer brush. It's just a super tiny flat spatula brush. I'm gonna get a little bit of that on my brush. I'm gonna start kind of where you see this blank area and then up into like right before my crease is where I'm gonna apply the concealer. I know sometimes with cut creases, people will just like leave the concealer like this and kind of blend out this edge for a true cut crease, but we are not doing that today. We are gonna be applying a shimmer over top of it so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's really just there to give you a nice base for the shimmer. And I'm really excited because I've never used this shade before. We're gonna use this orange shade called Chauffeur. And we're going to pop that all over the lid, and I'm going to use, let's see, where are you? There it is. I'm gonna use just this flat Ulta eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna pack that onto my brush and spray it with some primer water to get it to really stick. So the shade is not as pigmented as I'd like it to be. So, I mean, it's okay. It's not like my favorite shimmer formula of Colourpop's, but, so you really have to build it up to get it to show up nicely. Okay, and then, let me make this a little straighter. Okay, and then to blend that edge, we're gonna use this pink shade Dwindle, and we are going to, and this is a Super Shock formula, so it's really nice. And I'm just gonna take that on my finger, and I'm gonna pat it right onto the outer edge to blend that harsh line between the orange and the outer corner. Just to kind of give it a little bit more cohesiveness and a nicer transition. Alrighty, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, now that I'm done with my other eye, here is where it gets interesting. I'm going to attempt to do some black winged liner. I hardly ever do winged liner, so we'll see how this goes. That was the other half of the reason why I was using these e.l.f. eye tapes. I'm pretty much just gonna use them as a stencil to try and get the shape that I want, but what we're gonna use is the Colourpop liquid liner, and this is in the shade Numero Uno. It's just a true black. So I'm gonna start from the outer corner and work my way in. We'll see how this goes. Okay, this tape is starting to come off, so I'm just gonna peel it off. Okay. The wing itself doesn't look bad. I don't know if you're like not supposed to pull on your eye to get it like taut so it's easier to apply liner, because I never see anybody do that. But that's the way my mom taught me to apply it, so we're just gonna do that. And then I know that it looks a little crazy up here. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and then I'm gonna use a spoolie to get the rest of it off. And now I'm gonna try to do the other eye. Okay, well, I'm sure as you can probably tell, they are not exactly even. I am not very good at eyeliner. Clearly, I need to keep practicing more, but that's okay. I'm going to take my spoolie and kind of try to clean some of these parts up a little bit. I know it doesn't look the best, but like I said, I'm learning along with you guys, so hopefully you can look at some of the areas that I went wrong and maybe use those to think about how you don't want to apply liner. I know that that was a little rough, but we will keep going. So now we can start on the face. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my Wet n Wild Coconut 3-in-1 Primer Spray, and I'm just gonna spritz that all over my face. Next, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer and just kind of apply that all over my face. Okay, and for foundation today, and I'm like really in between foundation shades, so this might not be a perfect match, but I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and this is in the shade Shell Beige, yep. And I'm just gonna dot that on the back of my hand and then use my Beauty Blender, my Real Technique sponge to dot that all over my face. And now we're going to blend it out. This foundation has really nice coverage. I think it's a little dark on me. You can see on my neck it's a little bit dark. But it matches the rest of my body because I've been getting kind of tan and sitting outside a lot. But this foundation has really nice coverage. It has a really nice finish. I know it says Pro Matte, but I don't really feel like it's super mattifying. It's maybe like a satin matte finish, which I like. And for concealer, we are gonna go back in with the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer, and I'm gonna apply that right to my under eyes. This is probably my holy grail concealer that does not hardly crease on me. It's like a miracle because everything creases on me. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. concealer brush to really get into that inner corner. I don't wanna take my Beauty Blender in there all the way because I don't wanna mess up my shadow. All right, now I'm gonna go and conceal the highlight the high points of my face. Alrighty, and for under eye setting powder, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder, and this is in the shade Light. And today, I know I normally use a Beauty Blender, but I think today I'm gonna try a brush just to see if it makes a difference. We're just gonna experiment a little bit, and as always, I'm gonna buff out any creasing. All right, and I'm going to take my Colourpop F2 brush, just like a flat, small powder brush. I'm gonna get some powder on the brush and press it into my under eye. Okay, and then for powder for the rest of my face, I'm going to use my Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder, and this is in Translucent, I believe. And I am going to put this all on my beauty blend, or I'm sorry, my Real Technique sponge, and do my nose, my chin, and my forehead. Then I'll take a brush to set the rest of my face. And then I'm just going to use the Colourpop F1 brush. Okay, and for bronzer, as always, I'm going to go back in with my Colourpop Pressed Powder Bronzer, and this is in the shade Wild Card. I finally memorized it. And I'm going to put it on my e.l.f. pointed powder brush and kind of buff that into the cheekbones. Alrighty, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean up a little bit of the bronzer on the lower part of, oh, like a scratch on my face. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of this bronzer down here, and I'm gonna go back in with my Coty Airspun powder. Alright, and we're gonna let that just bake there for a little bit while we do blush and highlight. And for that, I'm going to use, where did it go? I'm gonna use my Colourpop blush sticks. I know it looks a little rough. This is in the shade Hooked. I'm gonna put that on my Colourpop F3 brush. It's just like an angled blush brush. I'm gonna take a little bit on my stick like that and buff it onto the apples of the cheeks. Okay, and then for highlight, go in with my Colourpop Super Shock Cheek, and this is in the shade Flexitarian. Sorry, that was upside down, but the back was right side up. That's what it looks like right here. And if you haven't tried Super Shock Highlight, you need to, because they're life-changing. They're so buttery and smooth and so pigmented, it's insane. And I'm just taking that on my e.l.f. highlighting brush. It's just so beautiful. It is like a champagne gold, but it like is also, it's really good for light skin tones because it also has like a very white gold undertone as well. But I find that I can use this like all throughout the year. Like I never get too dark in my face to where I can't use it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and dust off that excess powder on the cheeks and clean up the bronzer. And we're almost done with the face, but first let's finish up the eyes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the shade, let's go into the shade Meteorite, this deeper red terracotta color, I should say. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. small angled brush. I'm just gonna tap my brush in that and start buffing that. Or actually I'm gonna place it pretty precisely on the lower lash line. Okay, and next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this e.l.f. brush that doesn't have a name. It's like a flat, domed, outer corner brush, I guess, and I'm gonna smoke that out. now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with some mascara. We're gonna use the BareMinerals Lashtopia today. This is just in the shade Black, and I'm going to apply 2 coats of that to my upper lashes, and then to my lower lashes, I'm just gonna do 1 coat. Okay, and it literally never fails. I've got mascara on my lid once again, so I'm just gonna take the spoolie on the back of my Anastasia brow wiz, and I'm just gonna, there we go. Super simple. Okay, now it's time for lips, and I'm gonna have to go grab them really quick, so just 1 second. Okay, so for lips today, I think I want to do a nude because clearly we have a lot going on in the eyes. So I'm going to do one of my favorite lip combos that I actually showed you guys in my last video. And so for lip liner, we're going to do the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF. So I'm going to line my lips really quick, and I'm also going to slightly, let me wipe off my lips first. That would probably be a good idea. Okay, and we are back with clean lips. Sorry, I know that's kind of cringy to look at, but okay, so now I'm going to line. Okay, and then for lips, well, we just did lips. For liquid lipstick, I'm gonna use Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip. This is probably my favorite formula of the liquid lips that they have, just because the matte can be a little drying, but this is like the perfect in between. And this is in the shade Echo Park. So I'm just gonna apply that all over my lips. All right, and to finish it off, we're going to set everything with my e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. Okay guys, so that completes this video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Sorry, the rug's all messed up back there because the dogs run around and terrorize everything. But I know that was kind of a rough one. I know that my liner doesn't look the greatest. This eye definitely looks better than that eye. Nonetheless, yeah, I definitely am learning right along with you. I thought this was a really fun tutorial, kind of got like a sunset eye thing going on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you kind of can take this as inspiration for your future looks. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next one. So have a great day. Bye.